What's up guys, welcome back to another video, hope you're all doing well today. We are on the most recent ARL Supercross track, which is round 11 in Seattle, and just playing some random online lobby for a change. Now there's no real topic of this video other than that. I am riding on the RM450 stay with this incredibly sexual looking Ken Roczen gear. When I saw him use this IRL, I just thought, my god, I need that in game. It looks so good, and I'm so happy he ended up winning that round so we could actually get it made. Oh, we've got some very interesting ruck glitches there where the track just reset. Either way, let's ride around a bit. Let's see how it goes. I don't know if there's going to be a race in this server, but out of the blue, had no idea. But look who's in here at the top of the leaderboard. It's Mr. Reaperdoc. So we'll see if we can just ride well. I'm in here under an alias. My name is currently just Dave, and I'm number 40. So I doubt anyone will work out that it's me. The Suzuki barking through them whoops though. Holy, I didn't expect that to go that smoothly. And let's get over the finish line here. And lovely. I expect if I do a lap without crashing on the Suzuki, I imagine I'll get in like the 549s, maybe low 50s. If I don't crash, that's a big if I do that. Jesus. I've tested the banana bike out a couple of times, if I'm honest, because it is one of my favourite bikes in the game in terms of looks, not necessarily handling. And I've never managed to just get it to do what I want it to do. I run Hemi's suspension and set up on it completely. Hemi was nice enough to send me his stuff, and he is the banana advocate. He uses it every single round now. And I don't know, it's just the Yamaha seems to do everything the banana bike does better, so it's really hard to kind of take any goods out of it. It all seems to be bad. It's just weird things like it doesn't go through the whoops as good as the Yami does. It doesn't track around the corners as well as the Yami does. The front end is a lot less stable than the Yamaha's is, and it's like you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage when you use it. But I don't know what to make of it. I thought we was going into a race there, which is really disappointing because that kind of interrupted a lap that was quite decent. I guess I have to try again, see what we can do here. And I don't know what to even name this video. I might just do it as just banana supercross practice, something along those lines. Something nice and easy and straightforward. You boys will be seeing this on Sunday, unless between me recording this and the day the video is meant to come out, we get like some amazing new track release, something along those lines, or maybe a new mod. You know, we've been getting some interesting mods like Surons and pit bikes, etc. But yeah, you should be seeing this on Sunday, which is also the day that I want to start doing those Minecraft streams. So I thought about doing it on Saturday, which is the day I'm recording this, and oh my Christ. But I just kind of crossed my mind again that we've got IRL Supercross, and the time that I'd want to be doing it would kind of coincide with those, and I want as many people there as possible. So Sunday is the day. I have no idea how long I want to go for. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, really. I myself can quite easily sit there and play Minecraft for like 5 hours plus straight. It just depends what the interest is like too. You can see, back to the old Suzuki, that right-hander there, I don't think I've ever slid out in that corner on the Yamaha in all the laps I've done, so kind of speaks volumes. I'm not trying to set the world alight either whilst riding around here. Like my lap times, I feel like I'm being quite reserved. I'm not trying to hit these massive lines in everywhere, just nice and smooth. Double in here, and go triple. Lovely. Luckily, Seattle is, I want to say, quite an easy, straightforward track. If you are newer to Supercross and you don't want to do any of like people's custom Supercross tracks, and you want to kind of dabble in the ARL ones to, so I don't know, get used to them a bit, I guess, practice on the easier ones, this is definitely one of the easier ones. I think the only part of the track that will really give you much grief if you're newer is getting set up for this whoop section. I myself, as well as a bunch of the other pros that have spent far too many hours on this game, there's this weird little like scrub technique that you can do into whoops like that, where you get your bike on top of them and it doesn't kick out sideways, which is one of them things that's incredibly difficult to explain. It's not an easy thing to do. I generally couldn't tell you how I do it, I just do it. But other than that, the track itself is quite straightforward. So this section is a double, triple. You do have to downside the double in pretty damn perfectly. Oh, what is going on here? Pretty perfectly. Or what I find is actually a little bit easier is if you go around the outside, you can go triple, double out. And it's a little bit slower because you end up quite high up in the air for the double out into the corner. But getting into the rhythm and out of the rhythm, it just makes life so much easier. It's quite easy. But stepping onto that tabletop can sometimes cause people a little bit of grief. It's quite a a small landing zone, I guess you could say. It's not like the biggest like, tabletop in the world. But yeah, other than that, I've enjoyed this track. Stone Rider asked my opinions of it on stream when we was playing on it, and I didn't really have any negatives to say. The only one thing that I was unsure of is he's put a very, very slight amount of rough on the first corner off the start, which I just think sometimes can mess with people's braking on lap 1, and you know how bad like netcode is and the starts on this game are in general for just kind of having to cross your fingers and hoping that you don't get murdered by people behind you. Other than that, I think it's a good track. I really feel like he's been done dirty by the IRL track map with this. I don't think 90-degree corners are good in... Oh my Christ, what was that? Okay, that's... that rough's gone a little bit wild there. I don't think 90-degree corners are good on this game at all. Just the way I think it is, we've got no real seat bounce mechanics in this game. It's very, very hard to keep your momentum going. So IRL, if they have a 90-degree corner, you'll quite often see the pros, especially in the 450s, is they will go really tight inside on the 90, roll the first single in that section, and then be able to get on the power and seat bounce, maybe double or triple after that. You can't really do that in this game. Like if this was a tight roller and I roll that, there's no way of me tripling after that. You're very, very limited. You just kind of have to double your way through the rest of the section, which kind of lends itself to quite one-lined racing at times, and always the fastest way around any track in MX bikes is either absolutely rail the outsides everywhere or apex the flat corners as much as you can. And that was true again with this track. It was a very, very fast track, and all of the 90-degree corners, nobody used the outside at all or hug tight inside. It was a case of you land over here on the right, apex it across the middle, go back out to the right again. Same with this corner, we had a massive trench here where you start out wide, cut inside, drift out wide again, and it's one of them things. Like Supercross is a love-hate thing for most people in this game. You love it when it goes well, you hate it when you're getting taken out by everybody, which I definitely had my fair share of takeouts in the NA race. EU race for me was actually quite boring, quite straightforward. I'm very solidly in that best of the rest category right now, where Skills and Hurls will have a 30-second lead on me in the race, and then I'll have 20 seconds plus to the guy behind me in fourth. And I'm just in that lonely middle ground, which it makes some of the races a bit boring. I feel like I just ride around by myself for the most part. And the lappers are actually really, really good on that race as well in EU. I didn't have one single lapper that even made me a little bit nervous coming up to. So that, I mean, that was good. It's nice to see everyone improving ever so slightly. I think myself, as well as some of the other people I've spoken to, that's kind of my bad, trying to ride through someone. Yeah, myself and some of the other guys I've spoken to just hand on heart agree that the 450 class for racing just seems to be a bit better than 250s, just in terms of race IQ and things like that. I think the 250 class tends to be a little bit of a younger audience, and people that are more predominantly known for their qualifying hot laps that then want to try and set them hot laps in every single lap of the race. Whereas in the NA 450 race that I had last night when I'm recording this, I was down horrendous, by the way, off the start. I got very unlucky, got taken out a couple of times, which I ended up protesting for the first time ever. I don't usually protest at all. I just feel like it's a waste of time, but I was pissed after one takeout in particular. But I was having a lovely battle for 2 or 3 laps with Daniel Mills, and even though the battle was for 17th place, it was one of the most fun battles I've had in a long time. It was very respectful riding, that we was kind of cutting under each other in all the different corners. One would make a mistake, the other would pass, vice versa, and you could jump next to each other in the air side by side without fear of the other person throwing it fat in your face and taking you both down. And that's just what I like. When I get those rare moments on this game, absolutely love it. Like, wouldn't change it at all. And then you kind of do a full 180 to later on in the race, and you get near someone, they whip the shit out of a jump when you're both on the far right hand side of the jump, and they take you out and send you flying off the track for absolutely no reason. And I'm a massive advocate of people should have their heading and look back buttons all binded on their controller so they can actually be aware of what's around them, or at the very least run maybe max hard with your map on, anything like that. And I just think it helps the racing overall, people just being a bit more aware of what's going on around them. And I just want to, I'll show you an example of what happened without showing you the actual clip. So I pulled up alongside someone in the whoops right here. I took off about here on this jump, and I thought, you know what, we're side by side, I'm not going to whip, I'm going to straight air it so I don't get cleaned out. But the other person, oh, let's back it up, come both slope, took off, or started about here, then proceeded to turn to the right here and throw an absolutely fatty whip to the left, back wheel, destroyed my head, and I ate doo-doo cheeks. Which is very frustrating, especially since it was only on lap 2, and you lose a hell of a lot of positions from it. But on to next week, I guess. I mean, speed-wise, I'm always happy with where I am at the moment speed-wise. I'm quite content being within that half a second to a second off the top boys' pace. And usually it comes down to the start in the race and how I do. And in terms of race pace, I'm usually only a couple attempts off race pace-wise, but this track was a little bit different. I was a good second off per lap from Skills specifically. He was putting down absolute burners. But then I'm a little bit faster than everyone else. So I don't know. I either sit here for the next couple of weeks straight just grinding, trying to gain a couple of attempts a lap, which I probably won't enjoy. You know, I find it very, very easy to get burnt out on bikes at the moment. Or I just carry on doing what I'm doing, being quite content with my P2s and P3s in the races and just accept P2 in the championship, which I feel like might end up being the route that I'm going. Now, I have a little bit of a predicament. So, the MXGP series, which started off incredibly well for me at Massley, I ended up going 1-2 in the motos for first overall. It's been a very downhill experience since then. I have not been playing well. I've crashed so many times, had really unfortunate starts with people not using their brakes, and just not been enjoying it too much. So maybe I might do an actual proper poll on it at some point, but right now I'm just going to ask the question for you guys, if you've made it this far to the video. Thank you, by the way. Mondays. Would you rather me carry on with the MXGP races like I am doing in the 250 class, or would you prefer me mixing it up and doing like a Minecraft Mondays kind of vibe, just where we do a stream every Monday for some Minecraft instead? So at least if I don't play any other time through the week, you have got a dedicated Minecraft stream. Let me know your thoughts on that. I'd be very, very interested to see what the reception's like as well. I feel like GPs will still win. I'm just kind of not in love with them too much at the moment, which is a shame because I think the tracks that are being created are, one, stunning, and two, super fun to ride. It's just sometimes the pace of the racing mixed with the DP road and the physics on this game. Why are you crossing over on me? You did not have the room for that. It's wild. Oh, goodbye, Cookie. There you go, karma. It doesn't make it too enjoyable sometimes, and I could try and do a round or two for 450s, but in my experience so far, since the Beta 18 OEM's released, outdoors on 450s is even worse than it is on 250s. It doesn't seem enjoyable whatsoever. I've seen a lot of people complaining about it, just front ends don't feel good. It's basically Yamaha or ATM-ish, and then nothing else, same as Supercross has been, to be honest. It's just Yamaha Central. And I know I am part of that problem, but why would I want to handicap myself any more than I have to? You know, if there's only one bike that actually feels good, then I'm gonna ride that bike. I kind of wish I'd done it sooner in the season. I was a big advocate of the Fantic at one point, and then going back and riding that bike now, the front end always feels a little bit goofy and not too great, and I've just run out of fuel. That's a little bit embarrassing. But you know what? We didn't get a race going in this. Your boy Dave has gone top of the server, although that is 2.4 seconds off of my qualifying time. So, I mean, no massive disrespect to the Suzuki, but it's just not my bike. I've tried it out a few times and it's just not for me. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I would greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you guys are up to, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's video. Peace.